Hello again everyone, Ageofdune here, and we're back with another League of Legends Shoutcast. This one is of course Diamonds, and it's got Elementz here. He's actually the reason I decided to go ahead and spectate this one. He's streaming at the moment, and I wanted to go ahead and see him play a little bit of support. Obviously I'm not going to be focusing on him, exclusively or anything, as it is a Shoutcast, but I will go ahead and take a look at his plays when they make plays for kills and everything, and I'll probably concentrate on bot lane a decent amount when we're in the middle of games. So we'll have to see. I was actually watching a stream to get into this game, and I'm not sure when he actually gets into the game, as his game actually crashed. So we'll see there. He is trying to get back in, though, last I checked. So we'll have to see. Unless, of course, it was the actual game itself that crashed, in which case you won't be seeing this. But, yeah, anyway. That's not going to happen. So, we'll see once Lee Sin here finishes loading up. I'm kind of curious about his summoner icon here. I've never seen this summoner icon. Almost kind of sort of looks like Rammus, but not really. I don't know. I don't know what that one's from or anything, but it's kind of cool looking. So, maybe I'll find out what that is eventually. So, for those of you who don't know, Elementz used to be, just previous to this, well, first, okay, let's just start over. Originally, he was in All or Nothing, but then he ended up leaving them for Counterlogic Gaming, and he was there for a bit over a year, actually quite a bit over a year. And then, more recently, the team he was in was Team Curse. That's where I know I started finding out about him, and I think that's probably where a lot of other people started finding out about him, would be when he was in Team Curse. He was their support, and he was there for quite some time. December 2011 to June of 2013. That's when he actually ended up leaving. And so that's when he left there, and he was replaced originally by Rux, who pretty much immediately after was replaced by Edward, and that was in last season. So that was a kind of a sad time, because I'm not sure completely that it was 100% agreed on. It was a friendly leaving. It didn't kind of seem like it, but they did end up going apart, and he ended up leaving and going to Coast, not actually as a player, but as a coach, and he coached them for quite some time. There we go, he did indeed reconnect, so that is good news, and he's actually not even that far in. So he coached them for a while, and just recently he formed a new team, AOE, Area of Effect, I believe is actually what it is for. And I think he plays in that one, but I'm not sure. He might just coach it instead. But I know, well, he was playing in it tonight, but I'm not sure if that's a normal thing or if it's just sometimes. He may be a coach most of the time or what. But from what I understand, they do have ambitions of actually getting into the LCS themselves. Obviously, it won't be for the spring split of 2014 because that's pretty much already locked up. But it could end up being after that with the whole Coke challenge or the Coke League and everything else. Lee Sin's not actually here, which is kind of unfortunate. And it's very strange to see these guys invading. But they were picked up by the Orianna Ball, so it doesn't really matter that they invaded whatsoever. Lee Sin still is not bot. So maybe he had the same problem the Elementz did, except he hasn't found out about it yet. I mean, he did take forever to load. So hopefully we see him shortly, because the game is starting now. They're giving that red buff to Rammus, which is good. I mean, he is the jungler, but there's nobody up top to counteract Mundo. So hopefully he's able to get back soon and go for that, because otherwise that really messes up the games. Oh, nice grab already. And she actually took a lot of damage from that too. Yeah, Draven does a lot of damage, and I'm kind of surprised. Oh. Sorry about that. I'm kind of surprised she was that close to the wall there, because that was a pretty obvious position. She just got grabbed again by Elementz and taking a bit more harass, but Lucian's actually doing a lot of harass as well to Draven, and they're just kind of trading harass back and forth right now. I mean, Draven's got those whirly blades of doom. Well, axes in theory, but they look more like blades. And there's another pull by Thresh. There we go. Kiwi Lime has reconnected, and we're probably about to see first blood, would be my guess. No, we see a flash instead, so there will not be first blood quite yet. So let's go ahead. These guys are going back, so that's going to be fun. Go ahead and take a look at the players here. We've got Kiwi Lime playing Lee Sin top versus Mundo, played by Son of Nazareth. Alright. Mid lane, we've got Anivia with the awesome Anivia skin. That is the best Anivia skin, of course. And she's going to be... oh. Nice. Ram is getting a decent amount of damage in on the Mundo. Lee Sin's going to have a hard time, but hopefully he'll end up coming back from this. And she's going to be versus Orianna here, played by Robin Your Hood. Wow. Nice stun from Anivia there. Made Orianna take a lot of damage. Very nice indeed. Alright, so down bottom we've got Lucian, played by Expose Anthrax, versus Encore playing Draven. Apparently Mundo was forced to run here. Annie, played by Casual Kitty, versus Vi, played by The Chow. And then finally we've got the junglers. Rammus, played by Back in the Days, versus... wait. Alright. Elementz playing Thresh there, and Vi's played by The Chow. There we go. Elementz is definitely not jungle Thresh. That was kind of crazy talk. Another nice pull followed by a flay there. Annie stunned to a bit offset that, but they still ended up taking a lot of damage. In comes the Vi, jumped in, ulted as well, and it looks like she's going to narrowly escape that with her life actually, and they were not able to take down the Lucian or the Annie. And the MIA ping from Anivia saying, I don't know where Orianna is. Indeed not. But Lee Sin has actually, he's keeping this Mundo very low here, and Mundo's actually flashed out of this. The Q landed, he flashed into the bush, and there is the execute from Lee Sin. So he came in late, and he still ended up getting first blood, which is kind of amazing considering he was an entire level below the guy. But it was a very nice job there. He came in, kicked him, and then followed through with that Q to get that execute off, and it ended up getting him killed. Ooh, nice flash from Orianna. Says, nope, you're not going to taunt me, Rammus. Vi was there to back her up, but even still, that was great. Anivia tried to wall her off so that Rammus could get to her, but it did not end up working out. There's the ping, and it looks like Annie is actually coming up to assist here. There we go. There's the stun there, followed by a stun from Anivia. Lots of damage going in. She shields herself. And one more auto attack. She does go down. Flash comes out from Anivia, which ends up getting her egged, but not killed because, yeah, the rest of her team is there to back her up. Annie narrowly escapes that, but we do see Anivia back up to full life. Very nicely played by them. Anivia didn't need to flash, but she didn't think she was going to do quite as much damage as she did. So she came in with that flash, finished off the Orianna, and I think she probably finds that to be worth it. That is now 2 kills in the favor of the blue team. Alright. Sorry about that. Something came up and I had to step away from the computer for just a second. But I am back now, and we should be ready to go. Lee Sin's taking a lot of damage here from the Mundo, but the Mundo has also taken a lot of damage, and he was tanking the minions there, so he's got to be careful. In comes the Thresh Elementz, coming in for the gank there, flays the Rammus, and Rammus taunts him, but it looks like not much is going to happen. In goes the Vi, and the Orianna's there as well. Ignite comes out onto Rammus. Rammus is getting really low, but it looks like he will indeed end up living through this. Oh no, the flash and attack from Elementz means that no, Rammus is not surviving this, and Elementz is going to go ahead and secure that kill, which is a very good move on his part. Roaming over there and then ended up getting that kill. That's going to give him a nice little lead there. That might be something I should consider doing, really. I don't know. In Silver, it's a little dangerous to do that just because a lot of times your ADC isn't going to be quite as good at doing the whole 2 versus 1 thing. And honestly, I don't think I could do 2 versus 1. I would probably end up having a problem with this. Ooh. Rammus is there, goes ahead and uses that thing, but he doesn't know that Thresh is still there. As is Vi. In comes the Orianna as well. He gets stunned, and he ends up going down again to Elementz. So he is having a bad time this game, and they're going to go ahead and secure his red off of that. Nice invade there indeed. They knew he was probably going to be coming for that red because it had just spawned, so they were like, why not? Let's go take that down. And they did. They took him down and got his red. Lee Sin, it looks like, was forced to go back. Thresh is coming back into lane at last, which means that Draven here is a little bit more secure, and he's going to go ahead and push like mad from the looks of it. Man, he's good at catching those axes. I've played Draven in custom games, but that's about the extent of my Draven. Wow, he's actually pretty low already. And there's the ping saying, hey, watch out, Rammus is there. So be careful, Orianna. And I'm sure she will be. Kills are currently tied 2 for 2, interestingly. And Draven is just continuing to push this, making it hard for the Lucian to CS. I mean, he is an ADC, so he could CS a whole lot easier under the tower than somebody like Anivia can. But either way, it's still making it fairly difficult for him, especially considering, I don't know, I mean, he's got Doran's Blade and a longsword, so it won't be too very difficult. But the blue buffs have gone out. Orianna got her blue buff. The bird here does not yet. Poor Anivia. I know she's wanting it, and the question is, will Rammus give it to her? There's the MIA ping from Lee Sin, and it does look like Rammus is going to go ahead and give this to her. But we'll see if it does end up working out that way. Anivia really needs blue buff. I mean, it's very, very important for her indeed. So there we go. He does indeed give it to her. And that means she's going to have a lot better time against Orianna, at least while blue buff is active. She needs that for her ult and everything, getting that damage. But we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully she doesn't end up giving it up. And we do have Vi coming in for a gank here on Lee Sin. Lee Sin is 6, while Mundo is 7. But Lee Sin's actually done quite a bit of damage to him so far. And he's going in now. The ult comes out, but Lee Sin was able to just insta-burst out the Mundo before Vi could react at all. So that didn't end up going quite so well as planned there. But we do see down here, the Annie landed an ulti there with the stun. And Draven missed his returning axes, and it looks like he's going to go down indeed. He does, yes, and that is a double kill for the bot lane, but only one of those kills actually went to the AD carry. Orianna is on the run. She's trying to escape this. I can't see it happening. Rammus is fast, and there we go, interrupts her, and the taunt comes out, the stun from Anivia, and she goes down to Rammus. So that couple seconds there did not go well at all for the red team. I mean, they got that kill top, but that was the extent of it, and they lost pretty much their entire team for it. So, you know, I mean, the only one left was Vi. So they're probably not too happy with the way that went. And now Lucian has mostly turned this, or Lucian and Annie have turned this around on the bot lane, where before Elementz and Encore were pretty far ahead, thanks to that early harass. Now they're actually behind in levels. Looks like Lucian is going, or sorry, Thresh is going in, puts the ward down, Flay misses, the punt comes from Draven, and unfortunately that death sentence misses as well. So Lucian will be able to get out of this, and that ended up being a flash. Actually, no, I thought I saw Elementz flash, but it looks like he did not flash. And there was no flash at all there. So, I'm not sure what I saw there, but does not end up doing that, but it does look like the red team is going to go ahead and converge on Dragon here. They've pushed this lane in, and is Draven really going to go back? He just got back to lane. He needs to help his team, but he's not going to. It looks like he's going back. The ward comes out from Annie, so they know, but it ends up going down anyway. And up top, Lee Sin and Mundo are getting into it again. Lee Sin goes under the tower, almost kills him. The flash comes out from Mundo, and Lee Sin's actually forced to flash back out. That ulti from Mundo put him back up pretty high. In goes the Lee Sin again, and gets slowed by the cleaver, so he's forced to jump out again. If he lands another Q, he could probably execute the Mundo, but he may end up dying for it. So I'm kind of curious to see if he will decide to do so. Jumps to a minion, and nope, gonna go ahead and fall back for the moment. And he's forcing the Mundo to be very cautious, but I don't think either one's gonna get a kill there. I'm just gonna go ahead and back off, and indeed, Mundo's going back. And I think, oh no, Lee Sin's going to go ahead and stay. He knows that the Mundo's going to be forced to go back, so he's going to go ahead and farm up while he can, push it under the tower, and make Mundo pay. Out comes the Thresh ulti there. It does end up slowing down. Let's go ahead and see this whole thing. Alright, so the blue team's sweeping for wards here. And we've got Rammus coming in, Vi's coming in from the top. In goes the Thresh. There we go. The slow does indeed land on the Lucian, but the Flay does not. In goes Rammus. Vi goes in on the Annie. Lands that ulti on her. Of course, it's targeted. But it looks like Rammus is going to die here pretty quickly. The Thresh barely escaped that. And the Annie goes down as well to Vi. In comes Anivia. Going to go ahead and burst down the Vi. Lands the stun on Draven. And now Draven is trying his best to get out of it. Thresh really can't help much at all. Lands the pull on Anivia, but that's not going to be enough. And Draven ends up going down to the ulti, followed by the E combo there. So that didn't go too well for them at all. It started really well, but they were able to, the blue team was able to turn that around. They did still lose 2 for 2, so I guess it does end up coming out pretty decently there for the red team. They may end up losing their tower, but they did get a decent amount of damage on the enemy tower. Stun comes out from Anivia, landed on the Orianna, and Rammus is not going to be able to follow through on this. So the Orianna did escape after her damage there. If she had not escaped, it definitely would not have been worth it. But because of the fact that she did end up escaping, I think it might have been worth it, except for the fact that Lucian just got this tower. Down it goes. So yeah, that is the first tower kill of the game, and it's going to the blue team. But by no means is the game even close to over. I mean, the snowballing that used to happen in the last season isn't there as strongly anymore. And we could see, if we look at the gold totals, it's a 300 gold difference. And that is really not that much under the circumstances. And we do see the blue turning it, continuing actually, to try to lengthen their lead, going in on the mid tower here. It's not going to go down yet, but it did take a lot of damage indeed. Looks like Thresh is actually cleaning up a pink ward that was in this bush. Warding up, cleaning up, making sure stuff doesn't happen. And Draven finished that tower down bottom, completely negating any benefit they got from that. In goes the Thresh, lands on the Anivia, flays her under the tower. She gets egged again. Rammus, never mind. I thought it was Rammus taking it. Alright, you know what? Let's just go ahead and slow this down a little bit. It's hard to keep track sometimes. Alright, so there is the death sentence. Lands on the Anivia, which we saw. He follows through with it and actually just flays her under the tower, so she's tanking it. The ulti comes out from Vi. Down goes the Anivia. Rammus is getting really low. He's trying to save the Anivia egg, but it's not going to end up happening. He goes down to an ignite and auto attacks from, actually Thresh ends up getting the kill, but he would have gone down to Orianna anyway. I think Vi may end up going down. She does indeed, and Annie gets the kill for it, but the flay comes out on Annie, and she's trying her best to get out, but she's not going to get out of this. There's really no way. She's going to go ahead and try to farm up while she can. Down she goes, and the Orianna ends up getting the kill there. So that one went really well there for the red team. They lost one member of their team, and in exchange they got 3 members of the enemy team. And down bottom, we've got Draven just pressing this Lucian hard. Lucian's not having any good time. So apparently Draven's a pretty good counter versus Lucian. And the red team managed to get another tower here. Mundo says, hey, watch out. Lee Sin's MIA, but Lee Sin is coming back in here just in time to push Mundo off of his tower and get the CS here. And he's already got the Ravenous Hydra. He actually built that first, apparently. Thresh is waiting here to go ahead and go in. I think Lucian kind of figured out that was there, because he was being very cautious. But Draven and Thresh went ahead, took down at least one of the golems, the littlest one. And now they're going to go ahead and get out of this. The Thresh pull comes out and hits the Lucian, slowed him down a bit. And I have a feeling he's going to get taunted here. He is indeed going in now, and he's almost dead from Draven. Down she goes indeed. Thresh is still alive. Down he goes to the Lucian, but Draven is doing a lot of damage. The ult comes out from Lucian. Draven pops barrier, as does Lucian though, and that was enough to go ahead and take down that Draven. Had it not been for barrier, I'm actually not sure who would have come out of that with a head. It looked for a little while like Draven would, but there were 2 of the enemy and only 1 of him, so it probably would have gone the other way anyway. But it did end up using both of their barriers, so in the end it doesn't matter. It was a good attempt at a stun there from the Anivia, but it did give away the fact that she had a ward in that bush. And yet again, Lee Sin was back. He's coming back to lane again, gonna go ahead and push this off of his tower yet again. And Mundo was forced back off again. Vi's down here stealing up blue buff, but I don't think Annie's gonna be okay with that. Nope. Actually, it doesn't really matter what Annie thinks. Vi's going in on Annie, gonna go ahead and ulti her as well. Mundo flashes out, and the Annie's gonna die. Yeah, she goes down to the Mundo. Rammus comes in. The ulti comes out from Mundo, though. And he's going to get out of this. Vi's trying her best to get out. The Q comes out from Lee Sin. She dashes to Thresh. Thresh comes out with the Flay. Interrupts that Q there from the Turtle. And now they're all trying to back out because Orianna came to help. The Flash comes out from Thresh. It looks like he's so going to escape. But no, the Q comes out. And he's going to go back in. Flays them. And unfortunately, Orianna went down to the Anivia because Anivia followed through as well. And down went the Mundo now. So that was almost an ace outside of Draven down bottom. And Annie, who's here just waiting to trap him from the looks of it. Does she have ult? She does not have ult, but she does have a stun. So she's going to do a little bit of damage to him. But definitely not going to be able to insta-burst him down. No, he's going to go ahead and fall back. So she doesn't really have to worry about it either way. There we go. Going to go ahead and use that stun. Grab up some CS. And fall back probably. Or just kind of hang around. Fall back off of, pushing until Lucian can get here. Dragon is back up, so we're probably going to see another dragon fight soonish. And we do indeed see the red team starting to head down there. And Nivea's warding up, making sure that they can't come and sneak up on her. But Thresh is going to go ahead, ward up around the dragon pit so they can go in on it. No wards here, as seen by the scanner. And that tells the red team that they're free to go in. Orianna is picked up by that ward though, so the blue team knows that the red team is going in on it, but I don't think they're going to get here soon enough. No, the ulti comes out from Lucian, doing a lot of damage to Vi, and unfortunately for the blue team, not going to happen. Rammus was forced to fall back by the fact that there were 4 there, and there was really no way the rest of his team could get there in order to save him had he gone in, so they do go ahead and back off. Lots of, be careful pings here saying, hey, watch out, Mundo, you're probably going to be attacked soon. Rammus is indeed headed up there, and Mundo going to go ahead and toss the cleaver and use that ulti to get out of this. He's going to be fine. And Lee Sin's back up top to clear out those minions yet again. And we just see Elementz walking around warding up. Let's see if what he's building on the Thresh. He's actually, oh, never mind. Landed a stun there on the Annie, and Annie's going to go down. She's going to try to do a little bit of damage to the Orianna, but it's not going to end up happening. Wall comes out from Anivia, but it's not really going to matter too much. The Vi's going in on the Rammus, only to find that there's also a Lee Sin there, so she kind of backed off a bit there, but she does have backup as well. Q comes out from Lee Sin, and that means that the Orianna actually goes down. Vi is now on the run. In comes Draven. Thresh is getting bounced around like mad. He's trying his best to survive. The Orianna, the Anivia ult doing a lot of damage there, but the Rammus goes down to Draven, and Thresh does finally end up taking down the... being taken down by the Lee Sin. Down goes the Vi to the Lucian, and the Lee Sin was able to go ahead and finish off the Mundo there. And barely get out of it with his life, even though he was ignited. So this does give the blue team the opportunity to go ahead and push. And they are indeed going to do so. They're going to get this tower, almost definitely. And the question is, will they continue pushing? I kind of doubt it. I have a feeling they're going to get this tower and then fall back. And Annie does have her... Never mind, they're not even going to get the tower. I was wrong. Annie does have her stun. So if Orianna decides to follow here, she will be able to go ahead and go in on her. This ward is picked up by the tower, so that was a pretty unfortunate placement there. But there we go. We do see the blue team reconvening on this tower. They're going to go ahead and take it down. Annie, what the heck? I have no idea where that went down without. She did end up landing the stun there on the Draven, and he ended up going down thanks to that plus the Rammus taunt. Lucian goes down, though, because he was forced to follow through. He goes down to the Orianna. Stop, mouse. And the Rammus is now in a bit of trouble. He's really slow thanks to the cleaver there, but the Lee Sin comes in and manages to save him so far. Kicks them back using that ulti, and the Rammus is still alive at the moment. And Vi's probably going to be forced to go back because one follow through with the Q there from the Lee Sin means that he's going down. Thresh comes out with the Q, lands on the Anivia. She is now egged, and it looks like she's going to go ahead and go down. Out comes the Q again from Lee Sin. Lands on Mundo. Does not want to follow through on that. And he's going to be forced to back out. Rammus is still running away, of course. In goes the Vi using her Q. And I don't think she's going to go in. No, she's going to go ahead and go to the jungle. And see that, unfortunately, the enemy has not cleared that. So there's still only a single Wraith. But it does give her the opportunity to go for red buff. And Mundo's going back top. There's a good pull there from Thresh, by the way. He knew that the Anivia ulti was there, so he figured that it was probably going to be safe to go for that pull. And indeed, she was there, and it grabbed her. And then he was able to go and follow that through, flay back, and it ended up getting her killed there. So Lee Sin's back up top to defend against Mundo, who's coming in on this tower. Mundo may end up ignoring him. No, he's not. Wow. Wow, he just rips right through that. Out comes the Thresh Q again. And it is kind of forcing Lee Sin to back off a little bit, but we see Annie and Lucian on their way up. Lucian decided to fall back. He realized that they're not going to be able to go in on this. But Annie is here, and Lee Sin still hanging around trying to just kind of harass them and do a decent amount of damage. It did scare them off. So he won't be able to get a kill, but he did go ahead and scare the heck out of them. So Elementz is going to go head back. Mundo's going to stick around. His ulti is currently down. So he's got to watch out. Got slowed there by the Lee Sin. In goes the Thresh Lantern, though. It's going to pull him to safety. So the Mundo's going to be fine. And maybe oh, nice pull there from Elementz. Got another hit on Lee Sin there. Was not able to finish off. And there's the check from the red team. Lets them know there is a ward there, but unfortunately they weren't able to take it out. Rammus is doing his best to get out. He was apparently a little bit too deep in. He's going to go down, though. He does indeed. The Orianna ulti comes out, as does the Lucian ulti, just ramming at Mundo. But Orianna comes up to block it, and she starts going in on the Lucian, so that does force that back. We've got a big engagement still going on up here. Thresh is getting really low. He's going to go down to Lucian. But in the meantime, we've got the rest of the team going in on the Annie and Lee Sin here. Lee Sin is not going to get out. Annie did not get out either. She went down to Draven. Down goes the Lee Sin to Draven as well. But the Lucian ended up getting... Wait, how did Lucian get Orianna? Let's see. Alright, so Lucian's down here. And we already saw that. This is where the Annie gets bursted down. Thanks to the Draven in large part. Alright, there's the death of Thresh. Orianna's over here, and she's actually pretty full. By the way, it was actually Mundo that got the kill there. Oh, Lucian just went in, and she just went down really fast there. Alright, so that's what ended up happening there. Now Lucian's trying to chase down the Vi, who's charging up her Q, whether she's going to go back in. She does indeed go back in onto the Lucian, and Draven is doing best to burst him down. The Vi's going to be able to finish her off. In goes the Mundo with his ulti, lands the cleaver. No! Anivia's able to dodge that and then walls herself off. So it looks like she will be able to go ahead and escape. No, she stuck around. Why would you stick around? Dodges another cleaver, but Mundo is still chasing. Out comes her ulti. Vi misses her Q as well. Lots of Qs being missed here. But Anivia, I don't know. She's trying her best to escape here. She's going to run this way. Coming through the enemy jungle, Vi is slowly chasing her down, gets picked up by that ward, and now looks like Anivia is going to go ahead and try to go in on Vi, but Vi comes in with the Q, lands it on the Anivia this time, and was able to finish her off with, I believe, it is the E, yes? Yeah, it's probably, it was either, yeah, I think it was the E. Yep, yeah, because the W is a passive, right. I knew that. So yeah, and we do see Elementz going around warding up again. Gotta watch out for Rammus there, who was actually baited into using his scanner because of the fact that he saw the Thresh there, thought the Thresh had successfully warded, but he hadn't. He was actually scared. So, ends up coming out in Element's favor, amusingly enough. And we do see the dragon is respawning now. There we go. And will the red team end up getting this dragon as well, or will this be the turning point and end up getting the blue team the dragon? It looks like no. Red team's all headed down there. Blue team is not responding at all. They're going to go get Anivia blue buff instead. So dragon's going to go down pretty much instantly here. And the blue team has no idea whatsoever. There's the pings onto Lucian, who needs to get out of there. A little bit of a speed boost there. And they're trying to go for Lucian. He's getting surrounded pretty hard here. In goes the Draven. Gonna go ahead and land that knockback as well as the slow. And Draven is just gonna... Lucian is just gonna melt. Draven got the kill. In goes... Oh, nice wall there. Blocks off most of the team there. And most of the red team is completely separated from Vi, but Vi doesn't even care. She's going in hard. Eggs Anivia going in on the Rammus now, who flashes out. He's going to escape so that the rest of the red team can finish off Anivia. The Thresh pull lands on Lee Sin, who's instantly melted as well. And now Rammus is like, oh crap, I need to get out of here. I mean, he's going to fall back towards the enemy base because he knows going any other direction would end up getting him killed. So he is going to, I believe, escape this. He's got that Powerball going. Did not get hit by the cleaver. Oh, the flash Q from Vi says, no, Rammus, you are not going to escape. Nice flash Q, by the way. And there we go. The red team's going to go ahead and push down the mid here. Going to go ahead and try to take down this tower. And he has a charge, or yeah, a stun fully charged up, but not really going to be useful. Didn't even use it there. She got back under the tower, and she's like, no, we're not going to waste it on that. Attempt of a grab there from Thresh does not end up landing on anything, and the red team's going to go ahead and fall back, except for Draven, who's down to bot pushing. Going to get that tower. Tower goes down, indeed, and we see Draven falling back as well now. Somebody's going to go top to go ahead and push this back. A blue ping on Baron, interestingly. I don't know if it was just a ward this ping. No, because they have a ward here. They see Vi going back. They're actually going for this. Out comes a pink ward there from Vi, and that's pretty much immediately going to get taken out by the blue team. But it was enough to go ahead and let them know that the blue team is thinking about going in on Baron. They started to go in on nice stun there from Anivia, followed by a wall, and down goes the Vi. She used her ulti, was not enough to save her, and that told blue team it is time to go in on Baron. They are indeed going in on Baron. The red team's trying to go ahead and ward. The Thresh pull comes out and almost instantly melts him thanks to the Orianna ball there. The backswing of the Draven ult landed on Lee Sin, and he ended up going down. Now Rammus is trying his best to get out. The Anivia stun comes out. Does quite a bit of damage, followed by the Annie ulti. And I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Annie got slowed there by the Q from Mundo, but the wall comes out from Anivia. Very nice wall. Out comes the Mundo Q again, lands on the Annie, who's really low, but it looks like she is going to get out. And they're completely blocked off by that wall there, so they take the opportunity to go in on the poor Tibbers, who just dies. Poor Tibbers. But they are still alive. They're going to go ahead and clear out that pink ward, and it looks like they're just going to leave Baron alone for now. They don't have any reason to throw at Baron. Don't need a Desperation Baron. Honestly, I'm not sure the blue team really needed Desperation Baron either. Although, I mean, they have been losing a lot of team fights. Not, well, to some extent. I mean, they've mostly been getting caught. There really hasn't been a full-on team fight quite yet, except for that one at Baron. But they were already weakened at Baron, so I don't really count that one. And Anivia just got burst down half of her health there by the Draven. But we've got a team fight going on now. Thresh is getting really low. Going to go ahead and flash out. Rammus is tanking up quite a bit. In goes the Lee Sin, going in on the Mundo, who has his ulti running. So he's a tanky guy. Taking a lot of damage there, but he's taking it and not even having any problem with it right now. Pull comes out from Thresh, lands on the Lee Sin, in goes the Vi, and now the blue team's somewhat on the run. Stun comes out from Anivia, not going to be enough quite yet, and down goes the Anivia thanks to the Draven. Lee Sin's getting really low, he needs to back out. The Draven is hitting the Annie hard, and in goes the Vi, going to go ahead and finish off that Lee Sin. Thresh pull comes out, does not end up taking anyone down, and Annie just narrowly avoids dying there. Nice stun, or nice shield from Orianna, making sure that Elementz stays alive, and looks like the blue team is thinking about going for a push here. They did not end up dying, not one of them died, and now we see Vi going in on the Lucian, doing a lot of damage. Lucian's doing damage to her as well. In goes the Orianna ulti, and down goes the Lucian to actually Draven. Vi is now following the Rammus, gets flayed, or the Rammus gets flayed, and he's getting really low as well. Annie's here. She's going to go ahead, stun Draven and Orianna. Not too much happened with that ulti. Not ulti. W? Wow. Draven does a lot of damage. One auto attack almost finished her there. She's going to go ahead and finish him, though. She says, no. You're not going to be able to finish me. Really, it wasn't even her in large part. He tanked both towers all the way to here. Well, to here. And the one tower here. And she was able to go ahead and get the final kill on him. So down he goes. And that is shutdown gold to Annie, which probably makes her pretty happy. She's actually got Frost Queen's Claim, which is kind of interesting. That's the one where every time you auto attack or cast a spell or anything else on the enemy, it does get you an assist. So that's a pretty good one for her, as she does have that range. I was actually talking about it with my friend the other day, and we both agreed that that is actually a really strong one. Oh, nice stun from Anivia. onto Orianna. She's trying her best to get out. Gets hit by the anti-stun there. Anivia flashes over. Orianna's getting lowish. And I have a feeling she's going to go down. Out comes the ulti there from Orianna. And the hit there from Annie. And down goes the Orianna to Annie, interestingly. But yeah, we were talking about it. And at first, he was saying that he wasn't very thrilled at all with this particular line. Just because of the fact that, you know, the mana is so very useful. But I pointed out that on stuff like Annie, who has that ridiculously long range, I could actually see this being very useful. And indeed, we do see it being built by high elo players. So I'm not sure if that's just this person agrees with me, or if it's an actual high elo thing that agrees with me. But I figured anybody who has that long range like that and likes to harass a lot with spells and abilities, etc., auto attacks, you're going to see it a lot more on people like that than on things like, you know, Tarek or Soraka. I mean, Soraka harasses with bananas, but it's not quite the same thing. So we do see the blue team yet again going in on this Baron. Mundo is already in position to stop them. Lucian ult comes out, does a little bit of damage, not too much. Mundo's getting just shredded here, but he's got that ulti running, so he's gonna get healed up pretty fast. He's currently tanking the Baron, actually. Down goes the Rammus to Vi, and the Thresh manages to kill Annie again. Nice stun from Anivia, stunning 3 members of the enemy team, followed by her ulti there. She's gonna dodge that hook just barely. And I'm not sure she'll escape this or not, but either way, she is actually pulling the enemy away from the rest of her team. So, even if she doesn't, oh, there's the Vi ulti, so no, she is not going to escape this. There's her egg, but it does pull the enemy away from her. Unfortunately, Lucian decided to try to help, but he managed to dodge the Thresh hook there, so he's going to survive anyway. But red team is all up, so it looks like they're going in on the Baron now. I will admit, I've always kind of thought that Targon's would be really good on Thresh. Kind of surprised to see Nomad's Medallion here. That's the one that builds into the new Shurelya's. I don't know, I can kind of see it. The passive gold generation is really nice. But, I don't know. It just seems that the tankiness provided by Targon's would be really good on Thresh. I mean, yes, the execute doesn't work anymore. So that is a reason that, you know, for most of the champions down bottom, I can understand that. But Thresh has his passive. So he can go ahead and, in some ways, execute minions with that passive. But on the other hand, if you're using your passive... by the way, it's not his passive, it's his E passive, the flight passive. But I figure you guys knew that. But if he's using that to assassinate minions, he's not using it to harass. So that may be why he's actually going for this instead. It gets him that opportunity to harass a lot better, and he doesn't have to... It's not going to be down on cooldown or, you know, charging all the time. Whereas for... If he was using Targon's Targon's brace to get his gold, he actually would have a lot... Nice pull, by the way. He would have a lot more trouble going off and harassing. So there we go. It looks like the red team's thinking about going in here. Everybody's here. Well, actually, Annie and Rammus are not quite here. Wow. Hold up. Insta melt by Lucian there. Alright, there's the pull. Nothing really happened there. Interesting. I kind of expected something to happen. But now we see Vi go in. There we go. Mundo is tanking the tower, which is not really surprising as Mundo. The wall comes out from Anivia. She tries to stun. Lands the stun on Orianna at least. But nothing too much more at the moment. Lucian gets grabbed again by Thresh. And that ends up just having him melt instantly. So he is now dead. Out comes the Vi ulti on Annie. Rammus is going down to help. And he is going to go ahead, interrupt the Vi. Annie's still getting really low, but he taunts the Vi. So that does give Annie the opportunity to continue running. She's going to go ahead and do some damage there. I think she actually landed a stun onto Mundo. Orianna was just taking down the tower, and down went that tower indeed. Flay comes out from Thresh. Rammus is getting really low. Down he goes to Orianna. Now the Lee Sin's in a little bit of trouble, goes ahead and shields up the Anivia. Unfortunately, the Draven ulti comes out, does a lot of damage to both of them, and melts the Lee Sin. And the Anivia ends up going down as well shortly thereafter by Draven auto attack. So this may end up being a GG here. It's definitely going to be an inhibitor. And, ulti comes out from the Annie, but that just gets her killed. That is an ace. And I'm almost certain that's going to be GG. Unless these guys decide that they're very cocky and they're going to go ahead and slash dance in front of the Nexus. Which, Vi's going back. And they actually are being kind of cocky in front of the Nexus. But they got the ace there on Orianna, but they do end up taking down the Nexus anyway. So that is indeed going to be GG. And the blue team with Elementz wins, so that's kind of cool. I didn't know what was going to happen this game. Like I said, I was watching while he was streaming it, so this is pretty much live. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.